Hi everyone. Today we're delving into what is the difference between oracle decks and tarot decks and oracle readings and tarot readings. I am a full-time illustrator based in West Wales, and I have created 4 oracle decks with Kyle Gray and Hay House, and I am also an intuitive tarot reader as well as an intuitive artist. So I love to give the artist's perspective on things when it comes to decks and tarot and oracle. So more often than not, if people are going to have a reaction to tarot or oracle decks, it's going to be about tarot. For some reason there seems to be a kind of darker connotation when it comes to tarot. I'm not sure why that is, but and perhaps the existence of oracle was in resistance to that. My personal take on it is that, and certainly my experience with using both oracle decks and tarot decks is, I'll often jokingly say that if you want a clear-cut answer with no fluff or any coddling, then go with tarot. It generally tells you like it is. If you want a bit more coddling and taking care of, then maybe an oracle deck is the way to go. You know, tarot has a very specific structure. It also has a lot more cards. It's usually got 76 cards in it, and it goes through a whole journey, the journey of the Fool, from the beginning of the Fool's adventure to the very end of their adventure into another realm, and all of the minor arcana come into that. So in that sense, with the tarot deck, you have a lot that you can, a lot of archetypes, a lot of symbology, and a lot of structure that can connect into things that are happening in your life. With oracle decks, you have, it's kind of, there isn't a structure necessarily. There's often less cards. All of the decks that I've done are 44 cards, or we did a 22 card deck as well as a supplemental deck. You know, it's a good halfway house in a way if people are creating their own decks, to get a small amount of cards out there that still work for a reading. As I mentioned, I personally find that oracle decks don't necessarily tend to get into the nitty-gritty of a situation, and that might simply be due to the limitations of the deck, or potentially me just as a reader. There's always that too. I've certainly seen readers use oracle decks and get a huge amount of information that I go, yeah, you're basically just intuitively picking all that up, rather than seeing it directly through the cards. And of course, that's really what it's about, right? Like, that's it. These cards are a way to tap into intuition or channeling information in order to bring wisdom and insight through. So in that sense, it's amazing to see people use oracle decks and what information they get through. But also, you probably will find that there are, in oracle decks, there are cards, or there's a structure hidden underneath that is still tied to the structure of tarot, because the tarot structure works. It makes a lot of sense. And certainly when we were working on the angel guide in particular, there were cards that were, you know, conveyed to me through Kyle as like, well, this is the death card, or this is the devil card, or something like that. So I could go, oh, okay, that's what we're dealing with here. This is the feeling that we're dealing with here. So that, in a sense, you can, no matter where your knowledge lies, you can glean information. And of course, the other difference with oracle decks is they also have their little guidebook, and they will have often the descriptions, extended messages, activations. Certainly the Gateway deck has a bunch of activations in it. So they use Oracle to kind of explore other realms more deeply than tarot, which has its fixed structure. But obviously there are tarot decks that they tweak. I've seen many that still have the 4 different suits, but they're called different things, or they're slightly twisted from a different angle. It still makes sense, but it's got a unique spin to it. And of course, Oracle decks often have the additional words perhaps written on the card itself, rather than tarot decks literally will just have the card writing on it, what it is, and you have to know the meanings unless you're using the book itself. So one thing I personally like to do is often do a tarot reading, which will give me like the broad strokes of an issue or a circumstance, and then I'll often bring the Oracle decks in at the end, the Divine Masters, for example, to kind of say, well, is there a Ascended Master that wants to weigh in here? Is there some additional guidance? Is there an angel energy coming through? And you can layer that on top of your tarot reading, which is quite a fun thing to do, using both and blending both. So that's a summary of the differences between tarot and Oracle. I hope it's been useful to you. And feel free to drop in the comments some of your favorite tarot and Oracle decks. Catch you next time.